Hello! So my goal, my plan for today was this was going to be a vlog video, but the two books that I've been working on for the vlog have both been books that I feel a little bit mixed about. Still have plenty to say, but I don't feel like I've had a win in that vlog yet, so I want to just try one more book and maybe that last book will get us over the moon. I don't know why I want to complete a vlog on a high note, but I do. So I'm gonna extend that a little bit farther, and that's gonna be Thursday's video now. And I've already started the third book and I like it. So here's hoping. But anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I saw Leandra the TBR Zero posted last month an original tag, the mid-year calm down tag. Her original video will be linked in the description of this video. But she mentioned in her video that the first half of the year so far has been overwhelming and crazy for her. And girl, same. So she said that she really needs the second half of the year to just be calm and peaceful, and this original video is because of that. And I just thought it's such a great sequel to the mid-year freakout tag, which I think I did last week, and I'm excited to do it, though I haven't thought about my answers beforehand, so I'm going to kind of work through it alongside of y'all. So all the questions will be linked in the description of this video as well, so if you want to play along in the comments, please do. The first question is thankfulness. What 2024 has given me thus far? So this is the only non-book related question, and it's more in regards to the book community and what the community and being a part of it has given to you so far. And I'm going to start off by mentioning two projects that I've started this year, that I've gotten to be a part of starting this year, that I am really excited about. The first one is the Opposites Attract book club that I'm doing with Amber Elise that I've mentioned a few times. But we are two very good friends who have completely opposite taste in books, and we're reading each other's favorites, hating each other's favorites, and hashing it all out and just having a good time. And this, we're supposed to do monthly, but you know, our lives are busy, so it happens when it happens. And this upcoming one is for, oh, I'm sitting on it. Oh my goodness, that's awkward. It's for Bride, and we're gonna do that, I think, well, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I'll put it on the screen. We're gonna do that soon, and it's just a good time. It's just chaos and a good time. And then the other one, we don't actually have a title for it, but a couple of friends and I, Ben, Grace, and Bryce, we reread through the Gentleman Bastard series together, and then we talked about the Age of Madness trilogy together, and now we're about to read Lions of Al-Rassan together. And the idea is just like once a quarter or thereabouts, we pick a book together, read it, discuss it. And both of these things are just very low-key, regular get-together because we want to hang out, and it's just been so much fun. And then kind of booktube adjacent, I've gotten to have some really, really fun meetups this year that I've just been so thankful for. Two of my longtime Patreon members and friends met on my Patreon and got married this year, and they invited me to the wedding. So I got to go to Virginia and be a part of their wedding. I got to watch two people that I love deeply get married, and they ended up inviting several of the people from Patreon that they had gotten close with. And so it was like this big meetup of all these people that I've known for a long time that we finally got to see each other in person, some of which I've already met up with in the past, and some it was my first time meeting them in person, and it was just the best time. It was so much fun. I loved getting to see these two people that I care about so much get married, and I loved getting to have this quality time with these people that are part of my community. It was the best. And then also had a couple meetups with some booktube friends. Tori from Tori Talks, she happened to be in my state, so we just hung out for the afternoon, went on a little hike and had lunch. And Jimmy from the Fantasy Network, I got to hang out with him one day as well. We were supposed to go for a hike, but it was horribly hot outside, so instead we did a chatting with nuts. I mean, we were always going to do that, but we did a chatting with nuts on his channel, so you can check that out if you want to. And we just, I mean, it was just the best time. And just a week ago, I got to hang out with Alan, which, by the way, each of these people that I mentioned, I also met up with their spouses. But again, we just got to hang out and chat, and it was an amazing time, and his cat was very affectionate, and it was wonderful. And I'm just incredibly thankful for this community, and that I've gotten to build up so many amazing friendships because of this. Question number 2, Relaxation, the most relaxing book. Okay, I have my spreadsheet open. Thank you, Lynn, always, forever. And I'm gonna look through the books that I've read this year because my memory simply doesn't exist. And pick one. Wow, I don't have a 1. Okay, cool, neato, good for me. I'm gonna choose The Witch Would Not because, I mean, it was gothic and it was light horror. This feels unfair. I feel attacked in the very second question. I don't know. The thing is that this author, she writes cozy books. Like, yes, they're gothic or like Regency era and they're, you know, fairy tale-esque and have their triggers. But even with all that being true, they're still written in a way that's very close, like very sweet and easy to read. They have a cozy feel despite maybe on the surface not appearing cozy, if that makes sense. And I do find her books very relaxing. Like, they're just very comfortable to read and to sink into, and they have a lot of charm to them, even though they also have a lot of other, you know, things that they're dealing with as well. I think I'm doing a bad job. All right, question number 3, Hydration, a book that I needed. I know this is gonna seem odd, but my first response was gonna be Born, but I think everyone's tired of me talking about Vandermeer. And then I thought about maybe mentioning A Letter to an Unknown Woman, but then I realized, Murphy, you need to get it together. So instead, I'm going to say The Tainted Cup. The reason I'm gonna say that is because of Vandermeer, because Annihilation made me realize, or maybe it started the intrigue of, do I really love invasive plant life as the setting of a book? Which I realize sounds specific, but I already loved books set on like an island or in a jungle, something that's very plant-based, and then turn it like a little bit odd and a little bit strange and a little bit scary. And I was like, wait a second, is this the greatest thing that's ever happened to me? And then I read The Tainted Cup, which I didn't even realize was very invasive plant life, but also maybe biopunk, which I didn't even know was a genre until I read The Tainted Cup, and I just became obsessed. And I realized this is hyper-specific, and I don't know how many books I will find like this, but this is what I want all the time, always. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know, because I've recently discovered that I love it so much. To be clear, The Tainted Cup is not horror, but it does begin with a tree that is sprouted from a man's chest as a murder scene, and the world and the setting and the way the world functions, the whole ecosystem, is surrounded by plant life. And I love it. And not just surrounded by, but it's a part of their day-to-day life. It's a part of how their houses work and how their purification system works and how their augments, their physical bodily augments function. Like, it's all in there, in the world building. And I just love it. So excited for the sequel. Question number 4, Nourishment, a book that energizes me. Don't say Vandermeer. You know what I'm gonna say? I got to reread The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I didn't reread the whole thing, but I read chunks and pieces of it. This book is highly underlined, and I just went through my underlines and reread a bunch of my favorite scenes in preparation for the live stream for The Opposites Attract, which Amber hated this book, and it made for such a fun stream. But anyway, this book makes me happy. This book, it energizes me. It is everything that I want in my nonsense. Like, if I'm in the mood to laugh and to just let go and have a good time, nothing compares to Hitchhikers for me. There are several series that I love that are goofy, but Hitchhikers is just really special. Familiarity, an author I've returned to. Okay. I'm not gonna talk about Dresden because I've consistently read that. It's not an author that I took a break from and came back to. Okay, technically I can talk about Tchaikovsky here. Okay, so I read Children of Time. Maybe 3 years ago. I don't remember. Time is weird. So I loved this. Tabbed it up, annotated it, enjoyed it so much. Didn't read the sequels, and then didn't read this author again, because around that same time I also started and DNF'd The Expanse, which I know is a sin. I'm gonna return to it. I will. I'm gonna give it another chance. But I don't even remember what it was about it that I DNF'd. It's been long enough ago. But I then conflated the two authors and thought I didn't like Tchaikovsky and just didn't pick him up for a really long time. And then I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, I think one of my patrons untangled that for me and was like, no, you're wrong. You liked Children of Time. And this other thing, that's not the same author. So I have rediscovered Tchaikovsky and I've read several of his books this year. I'm actually currently reading one right now, Service Model, and I love his work. Like, I don't know. I've been having a great time going through his books and have many more that I'm excited to read. Oh, it's kind of an embarrassing story to tell. Question number 6, healthy risk. Outside of my comfort zone read / new to me author. I'm going to talk about Chess Story. So I do get to talk about Zweig. So Chess Story, how did this happen? One of my patrons sent me the book Chess Story years ago. Sorry, Ruby. And I finally read it this year and I loved it. I loved it so much. So then I read A Letter from an Unknown Woman and I loved it so much. And then I bought a collection of his short stories, and every quarter I'm going to read another one. So I'm actually due. I need to go ahead and pick that up and read one really soon. But I don't know what genre you could say he writes. I suppose literary fiction. The 2 stories I've read have been about obsession and have been about a person's extreme desperation. And the way he writes is just so evocative. It draws me in and it causes me to become obsessed as well, in the sense that I have to see how the story ends. I have to see what happens with these characters and with what they're going through. And the 2 stories I've read so far have been total tragedies. You know, there's not happy things going on, but also it's unlike anything else I read. And the way he writes so concisely yet so evocatively is astounding to me. And I am so excited to read more of his work. Question number 7, reflection, changes in my reading taste. I've been reading much more sci-fi lately. I hadn't previously read a ton, and I'm still more fantasy leaning, but I have been doing more sci-fi. And I guess really overall, I'll say that in the past several years, I've made a really concerted effort to have a lot of different genres that I'm reading each month, making sure to read at least one nonfiction every month, making sure that I'm pulling from literary fiction, speculative fiction, grab a mystery, grab a horror or a thriller, just maybe 2 fantasies a month, and then grabbing from a bunch of different genres as well. But I also used to read a lot more than I have been this year. This year's been very, very busy for me, and I'm lucky if I get 5 books read lately in a month. So which is still great, by the way. I'm still very happy with 5 books. I just used to be able to read a lot more. I used to have a lot more time on my hands than I do right now. But because I have less time to read than I have in the past, I'm trying to just let myself read what I want to read and not care about making sure that I'm reading a really wide variety of things. So I've been reading a ton of fantasy and sci-fi and not a lot else. And I am really comfortable with that right now. It's what I'm digging. It's what I'm liking. Eventually that will shift and I'll be interested in something else as the tides go, as is typical for me. But I'm just letting myself lean into it. And it's been nice. I've been really enjoying that. Question number 8, Detox, a book / habit I am leaving behind. I have been trying to DNF more. I do feel a certain amount of guilt for DNFing books. And I'm trying to just let stuff go, because again, less time to read. So what's the point of pushing through? For me, you do what you want. What's the point of pushing through for me when I have so many books that I'm excited about? I would just like to get to what I want to be reading, but I still do push through some, so I'm not sure if that counts. You know what? I'm going to count it. It counts. Question number 9, positivity, anticipated books / events. Well, I would say Dragonsteel, but I'm not going. I mean, I would love to go, but it's not happening. Can't make it this time, sadly. So there are no events, I think, that I'm looking forward to, other than just like Jimmy and I for sure are gonna hang out again at some point before the year's end. Anticipated books, I do an anticipated new releases video regularly. I do them quarterly, but a couple that I know, The Bright Sword, I plan on starting probably this week. I'll be starting it, and I'm really hyped for that. Two books that I haven't actually mentioned on wait, no, I did mention Mercy of the Gods. Everybody knows I like Sanderson. It's unsurprising that I'm looking forward to book 5. Hold on. I'll just say The Bright Sword because I'm about to start that, and I make the quarterly new releases videos, so I don't think I have anything new to say that I haven't already said recently enough. Question number 10, looking ahead, personal plans/goals. Well, I do have my goals videos that I do every quarter as well, so I want to continue to maintain those and continue to do those check-ins, which are super fun for me. I really like doing those. And you know what, this is weird. But what I really need to do is say that I'm going to read less. The last couple of months, I make these TBRs that are like hopeful, and then I read not as much of them. And I did that to myself again in July, and I gotta stop. So I need to actually start making TBRs that are realistic, because people do watch those TBR videos and then try to hop on some of the books that I plan on reading, and then I kick those books down the road. And I don't like doing that to people, or to myself. So I need to be creating smaller TBRs and just accept, like, this is what my reading pace is right now, and it's cool. So that is the mid-year calm down tag. Again, the questions as well as the original tag creator will be linked in the description of this video, so check those out if you like. I'll see you again soon. Bye.